usually.
Okay.
In the parts department. We'll start there first.
So what do you do for final touch? You just have people play?
Oh, there's a whole checklist.
Okay.
So they have a list.
Impromptu interview.
Come over and see
That's where we're starting. I guess I'm the cameraman now.
So we're going over now to testing and the checklist of what Jack and his team go through before they ship out games.
Oh, here's the other checklist?
Here, do you want to take this back over so I'm not responsible for poor video footage?
Everybody cleaned it up so nice for the weekend.
Oh, boy.
There's a really long checklist. We'll find one for that. Let's go. First place, let's go. Watch the wires.
Yeah. Watch the. That's how we came here.
A really nice lady came in and he ran all these wires.
Yeah, you know, some live streaming jerks did that.
So, let's go into the parts department.
Let's check it out.
Okay.
One thing we produce here is a lot of garbage. So
There's a lot of cardboard boxes too. Look at all those.
Well, that's stuff that's coming
Oh,
in.
look at these are the good cardboard boxes right here.
This is it. These are all ready to ship. There's all games over there. We're building 15, 16, 17 Hobbits a day.
Nice.
So it's pretty good. We're over 300 for the month, so that's good. And we're ramping up.
How many people do you have working at the factory?
There's about 60 people
Okay.
here, something like that. And I'll show you, we just set up a Wizard of Oz line too, because we're going to start Wizard of Oz in a few years.
Whew, this place is monsters.
So this is basically our parts department. And after parts come in and they're inspected, they'll wind up here. They'll get cataloged. They have track of basically where every nut, bolt, screw, wire, everything is here. This room right now probably has a little bit more than $4.5 million, close to $5 million worth of parts here. Everybody knows most of what comes into a pinball company is made specifically for them. So things like, you know, off-the-shelf wires, maybe we use for our audio cables, RCA jacks, hardware itself, things like that. Other than that, everything is made for us. So you come through and just go down the aisles. This is a real hub of activity during the day. There's a lot going on in here. There's a lot of moving parts, as we say.
Literally.
In here, and a lot of people working on all kinds of stuff in here. You know. What happens, they'll do what's called a pick. So they'll pick X amount of games worth of parts, and they'll bring it out to the factory floor. In our system, there'll be like it's almost two warehouses. So there's one warehouse that we call, you know, parts, all right, and production. So they'll know how many parts they have here. If they brought you out 100 or something to make 100 games, you shouldn't run out until you made 100 games. If you ran out and somebody didn't run out, we have to go figure out what happened to you, why you did that, what went on. So the good thing is we have some really great, talented people, and you know, we foster a mindset that everybody, there's an ownership of everything they do, and they're doing it really for themselves, the same way they would want to do it if they were building the game for themselves, you know. And these are just crates of Invisiglass over here. They're all over the place. You know, it's crazy. There's 125 sheets of Invisiglass in a crate like that. You're looking at something that's $22,000 just in that crate right there. It's crazy. You know, you want to start a pinball company, you better go get a lot of money. You know, so.
You're welcome, Tim Peters.
It's hard,
Mark. Nate Shivers gets a royalty every time we say that.
What's that?
Pinball is hard.
Pinball is hard. So in this area, what we're doing is we're assembling cabinets in this area. We have a couple of carpenters. We bring in all our cabinets at this point in time, knocked down just like you see at IKEA. So what this does for us, and we do get cabinets that are assembled as well, but what this does for us, it saves on some transportation, it saves on some space. Depending on what we're building for the week, we'll build that many cabinets. And we have a good chance to control the quality of the build, and then we decal those cabinets on this side. So, you know, had this been yesterday, you'd see people here decaling cabinets in this area.
And you have like all different decals that you use, right?
Yeah. So
what is the difference between all the different decals?
well, so you'll have decals for LED games. The head decal is the same, and then the body. This is for snout, gold paint, and then you'll have all radcals, which are pretty cool. So you see what this is, and you feel it here.
Okay.
And it's really very thick decal, if you think about it, and it peels. We leave the protective coating on it before we peel it for you. We let the end customer peel it. So really, what you're getting here, if you remember what our cabinets look like, we have some here, the direct print cabinets. They were beautiful, but the problem was that if they get scratched or damaged, it's really difficult. So what I wanted to replicate was I wanted to have that look, but I wanted to have the durability and the changeability. So actually, we put these on. They're $400 upcharge for the 5 decals. It's the 2 sides of body and head and the front. And even if you did it aftermarket, you could actually put this right over your cabinet. You could put this on. We had some customers that finally saw in person what the radcals were, and they were upset that they didn't get radcals. So some people have bought them afterwards, but now that people are understanding what these are and they're really well worth the money kind of thing, we're getting a lot of people buying radcals. We're also getting a lot of people buying plate field protectors.
This is cool. Can you put that back on to show the edge? So like a lot of times when you think about like installing decals on a pinball machine, you got to worry about like taking all the hardware off, but these fit like right around, so you don't have to take the legs off or any of that.
Right. And you probably want to apply these wet. If you see them applying them here, they have the spray bottles. They'll apply them wet. They'll squeegee them with the squeegees, and they'll go through. They hang these up. Thankfully, we don't have much of a waste thing. Those are hung up for some new people that may come to this station to say, this is what not to do. This is what you don't want your decal to look like. So the good thing is that we have a whole bunch of different ones. We have Wizard of Oz. This area, what we did was we took this part of the building and we built this line just in the last few weeks. So we condensed that whole big Wizard of Oz line that we had at the front into this. So actually, if we be careful and we step over here, you'll see there are some Wizard of Oz cabinets here. There are a lot of Wizard of Oz parts in the building. The balance of the parts should be in the next few weeks. Right now, I think we have about 250 Wizard of Oz games on back order right now. And think about this, around Christmas time, after Christmas, we had about 150 Wizard of Oz games in the box. Jen and I sold them sometime by about the middle of April. And then we started taking pre-orders, a small deposit on Wizard of Oz. So, I don't know that I'll have the license when the 100th anniversary comes around, but certainly it's a forever game, and with the 606 code and everything that it is, the people in the beginning that only played what I call the box of lights, now they really have an amazing game. So we have a lot of operators ordered the game because they didn't want to wait 2 or 3 years to put a game on location. We have Pendemption for that, where we can connect the ticket box underneath and it pays out physical tickets or swipe card tickets. We'll also have Pendemption software on Hobbit. So Hobbit software should be done, I would say, within the next month. This game's about 95% done.
Awesome.
I know some people ask, but that's a real thing.
It feels like it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game. It's a great game. Everybody did an amazing job. It's an amazing job doing it. Just thinking of what the rules and modes are, and doing it, making it happen. All the speech calls, the sound that goes into it, all the choreography, the lighting, all the animation, everything. It's an amazing job what people do. It's an amazing commitment. So, in this area, if you were here in about a month, probably September 17th, when you guys come back for open house, you'll certainly see this line more populated, more parts, and Wizard of Oz games. We expect to build about 25 Wizard of Oz games a week. We could ramp it up a little bit more, or we could go a little bit down, but since we have this back order situation now, I don't want to have 10 weeks worth of back orders. We'll probably step it up and add more people and ramp it up. So I expect that this year, if we're building, let's say, 350 Hobbits a month, you have August, September, October, November, December, And then you have probably September, October, November, December with Hobbit, so with Wizard of Oz. So you have a lot of games coming. You have a lot of games coming. And then, in the springtime, we'll get into game number 3 when we produce game number 3. So yeah, that's what's going on here.
Whoa. Steve just killed his phone. All right. R.I.P. phone. Watch your step.
It's been through worse.
So many parts.
It's funny, I see 4 Wizard of Oz games over here. These are repairs. We have operators that, those came from different places. If you even look at the front tax stamps and stuff, these guys made a fortune on the game. They just want us to go through the game, make the game like new again. Some of them had amazing amount of plays on them, and we'll do that. We'll turn them around in a couple weeks. We'll get to them. We'll have people come in on the weekends and do that.
How many people work in this factory?
So about 60 people. Those cabinets, when they come down that line, they get pushed right over the cabinet.
Ooh, look at these.
What happens in this area, this part of the building is the cabinet assembly line, where this empty cabinet becomes a cabinet that has all your ground braid, your transformer, your power box, your switch, your speaker, all the things that go in it. And then that cabinet gets a back box to it, and it goes down the line that way, okay? And it goes to the front. And really at this point here is the first place where playfields go on the assembly line. So our playfields come in these boxes, and they get QC. If there's anything wrong with them, they get rejected. And really, these playfields, they're made by Miracle in Germany. He does an amazing job. And there's a significant cost to these, but this is your whole game. This is what you're looking at. This is the building block of your game. So if it's not done the right way, your game is kind of worthless. So this is the first stage where they'll come in, they'll get inspected, they'll get put in these racks. That playfield.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, can we get a shooter lane shot? There you go, pin side. That's for you.
This has a defect. There's a little problem over here. So
I'll take that one home if you guys don't want it.
Right? Trash, right? And then they'll take this jig, okay? And this jig, the first thing they'll be doing is they'll be T-nutting it. So if you grab a hammer, not that one, that one, and you grab the tool, there's a guide tool, right? So it's this tool that we actually made, and you have a T-nut, and you put that in there, and you're gonna wrap that in, and you're gonna drive that down the whole way. So this is some pretty hard wood. So you're gonna drive that in the whole way, and when that's done, you're gonna take this jig off, and you're gonna flip the playfield. All playfields, we don't have any. They come complete, which means that they have all the spotting on it for all of the mechanisms that get screwed into it. Right, so they're complete when we do it. We don't have to drill them, we don't have to punch them, we don't have to do anything to them. You flip it over, you take the jig for your ball guides, and they're all numbered. So number 1, I have to put a number 1 here, I go over here, I get number 1, okay? This is a scientific spacer, right? So what I do is I get my plastic hammer, I tap that down, I drive that down all the way till it's this level. Okay, I'm not going to waste that for the moment. And then that's all done. Right? Then that comes this way, and it goes face down in this apparatus. But first you take all your wood rails and you put them into these areas. You put the playfield face down, you get your screw gun and the screws, you screw it all in, and it winds up, this is what it comes out looking like. This is your hanging sample. So at every station, you have a hanging sample that really reinforces maybe what you forgot. Now, all the people here, they're all cross-trained on different areas. So, Monday might be a beautiful beach day. Maybe somebody has a little tummy ache and they can't come in or something. They might be at the beach. We don't really get people like that. But in case they did, somebody's able to take their place or whatever like that. So it's pretty cool. This next station is where the back panel is affixed. So it would be these metal brackets, this, and this would go on in this spot. And then they would wind up on one of our rotisseries right here. So his game A15, we stamped them all. So this is number 815. There was some prototype games made before that. Every game will have a travel sheet, and at every station somebody will check it. So here, this game is going to Australia, 220 volts. It gets a playfield protector. It's a Smaug Radcals, and this customer bought an extra red Smaug toy. So even though they're getting a gold Smaug because it's a gold game, they want a red toy. God bless them. And then we sell everything nobody needs, so why not sell more of what everybody needs?
That's right. That's what pinball's all about.
At these stations behind you, they'll be building sub-assemblies. So the basic parts for these sub-assemblies, these are, what do you think they're building here, looking at those metal parts? Beast necks.
Oh, there you go.
So you can work out with these.
Martha's the only one that actually works out, so.
Well, you guys chug beers and lift pizza.
Oh,
we had this discussion on the ride down.
Spider.
Yeah.
He's your friend, right?
Right,
Right.
right. Spider is your friend.
That guy.
So they'll build them, they'll test them, and then they'll move to the line. And you'll see them on the shelf in all of these different places. You can see, you look over here and you say, I think when I close the door and I go home, all these guys start talking to each other and they say, hey, did you see Jack? No, I didn't see him. Did you see him? Yeah, I saw him. So I don't know. I don't know what they do when they're, when the door closes. I have no clue what happens here. I just think sometimes I come in here and it's kind of strange.
Here's a movie idea.
Pinball factory at midnight,
Here's a movie idea.
You never know. You never know.
Let the movie crew in here.
They'll build them, they'll test them, and then what happens? These other workstations, something that people kind of don't realize. Everything you work on, you're not holding something in your hands, screwing it together, or anything like that. You need to build a fixture to hold it. So these are fixtures for our ramps, and all of the parts that get built, you have to actually calculate out how you're going to build these things. And we have a really great engineer, his name is Roger, and he's in support of this factory, and he's got a shop bot back there, and he does a lot of the tool support. He does 100 different things. We have a lot of specialists, but we have a lot of people that multitask on a lot of different specialties. So it's pretty cool. This is where they build the Smaugs. So kind of like, there's things going on here, but then whatever they built went that way, and we'll go show you where. So those fake built slide So this would be station 1, station 2.
The station.
So all of the parts that you need for this station are right in front of you, and they're color-coded to match what's up on the instruction on the hanging sample. And what is too big to fit here is right behind you, okay? And the workstations there are categorized so that they feed the stations of the assembly line that are here. So you wouldn't have something there that's feeding, station 14. So in this area, they might be taking it apart. There's also people working on different things here, where if you come on this side, you see a whole part full of plastic sets that are all broken up, right? And this whole pallet, it's all plastic sets. So somebody's job, aside from doing other things, are actually to take these plastic sets apart, break them up. So here, you know what? Everybody gets a sword.
Yeah.
All right. Here's your gift for the
Sweet.
factory
Look at
tour,
that.
okay?
Awesome.
Here you go. Just don't stick me with it. Plus, it's probably good if you had a martini. Maybe you want to put it through an olive with blue
you go.
cheese in it. I don't
Put
know.
it
I've
in your
never
drink.
tried that, but So now, if anybody attacks us, if those goblin heads or anything comes, we got, or Pokemon or whatever. we got. So in this area, you also have the small book monitors get put together. All of these parts, you may have 30 parts, 50 parts, 100 parts, or 12 parts. They all come together, and they individually form different sub-assemblies. And that's what is happening at all these different stations, and they'll get tested, according to who's doing what on the line. And as we go down the line, let's go back this way. Again, you'll have everything having to do with there's all your ball trough assemblies, or your buttons, flipper assemblies. Just you look at everything in here and you're wondering what everything is. So in the old days, when I used to give the Wizard of Oz tour, these would be left, right, and center trees, because they were all different. But they repurposed these boxes, and these are the different pop-uppers. So you have the guys in the barrel, or a guy without a barrel, or depending on what's going on. And so as you see these playfields come down the line, you see them get populated with more and more parts. And look, here's actually game number 800. So once in a great while, I'll go over to a game, and I'll just go like this. So whoever gets that game, maybe they'll notice it, maybe they won't notice it. At some point, 30 years from now, somebody will say, I don't know, this knucklehead signed my game, he made it worth less money. And as we come down here, you'll see all the circuit boards come into play, wiring comes into play, the subways, all the extra parts. At this point, there's 97 solder connections that are made on the game. And really, our games, it's kind of funny. In a lot of games, from fixing electromechanical machines for a long time, everything in the game is soldered, an electromechanical machine. You see this whole massive, wires, relays, all that kind of stuff, switches. On this game, we're using plugs on all these boards. So you have these Hiroshi connectors, which male and female. So, right now we're not soldering directly to the boards. As you come down here, more and more on this game, it's an unbelievable mess, it looks like. It really looks like an unbelievable mess. But there's a lot of stuff on the game. And as it progresses through, it comes back, winds back over this way. You get to the point where right now the game is just about done. Okay? And you look at this playfield, and you say, this is like 2.5 games.
We got to get a close up on that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So you look at Smaug.
Oh, there he is.
So here's a gold Smaug.
Sweet.
So he'll out. He'll move his jaw. He'll turn. He'll do all of that kind of stuff. And these all get tested. And then you have the drop target tanks. Here's a simple.
Yeah, I was watching on that too.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're watching real life.
Here's a simple 3-bank drop target or something.
I'm a lady.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy because you have you have 2 coils on each. On each, and that's only a 3. The 5 is a little bit more. I'm seeing the 5s. Here's a 5. So there's a 5-bank.
Serious price.
And nobody's done that way, where you can make those targets dance.
And these are moving a lot.
They're moving a lot, and I want to explain something after about the springs on here. I want to talk for a minute or two about what we've done to beef up our games too, in light of having some issues with the games in the field. Because, everybody knows the pinball machine, and it's going to have issues. We're striving. Yeah, that would be good. You can work here now. You figured out how.
You don't want that. You have a lot of defects.
Some of the guys in the chat want to work here after the tour
Yeah,
here.
it's okay. You look at the toys, Matt makes and stuff like that. It's
Oh,
not.
sweet.
It's not like
Some nice
flimsy,
detail.
I mean, that is
Yeah, that is substantial.
substantial detail.
Yeah,
How much does a game weigh?
a lot.
A lot.
So they're a little bit more than 350 pounds.
Okay. So bring. a couple
And you know,
friends.
think about
Built
it.
like a
When we
tank.
get to when we get to boxing the game, I'll talk about the boxing and rate of the game. So by this stage, everything's been tidied up. Everything's been wrapped. Everything's been routed. Everything's ready to be checked. It goes to this station, and this is basically a game at this point, where this game gets, where this playfield gets connected to this gets on. They go through the whole switch matrix. They go through everything in the game. The cool thing about these rotisseries is that it's a rotisserie turn, right? So you can work on top, you can work on bottom, you can work in different positions. And you know, nobody designed any of this stuff for us. We figured, all this out from sheer trial and error, experience, aggravation, getting better. This was a big empty 42,000 square foot building that I took in the middle of an economic recession. So to open up a manufacturing company, at that point, this playfield has a playfield protector. So I'm going to guess this playfield came here for a reason. It might be some customer may have decided at the last minute they want a playfield protector on, and we actually pulled this thing off the line to do it. Because this wouldn't be in this, I don't think this would be in this position. Somebody was working. So these playfields, these are all completed and tested, and they went around that way. So here's game number 788, 787. So,
Jack, how many hours does it take to make a machine from start
it
to finish?
takes about 24 hours.
Okay.
24 man-woman hours.
Okay.
One woman. So those cabinets that you saw at that end that were kind of empty. Now this whole cabinet assembly area here, that's the same kind of assembly line area for cabinets as we have for playfield. So these cabinets come this way down the line, and pretty much, they're going to be complete. They'll have your chassis, right? They'll have your speaker, you'll have your transformer, you'll have everything in there, your I/O board, your power supply, your sound board, your motherboard, and all the connections, everything that you need. Whoever worked on this cabinet, there's a whole list of who worked on it, what it is. These are kept, it'll be in your permanent record. So these are kept as a permanent physical record, but they're all scanned. You keep all the stuff on the internet in a secure site, so that anybody in the company needs to access game number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, who worked on what type of monitor is it, what type of computer is it, what type this, what type that, because you need to track all that stuff, because even years from now or a week from now, the game develops an issue. Those are questions that you'd like answered. Maybe you have to address something with a vendor, or maybe you have to address something with who did it or whatever it is, where you just have to track that. It's being responsible. The Wizard of Oz was, a typical Class A pinball machine. What that means is that it was certified to be a commercial amusement device. With the Hobbit, we did something different. The Hobbit is certified as a Class B device, which means it's a true consumer device. What bothered me for a long time was that we're selling these games to the home, and I don't want to get up and say, hey, I don't know, it's a commercial thing, does it really belong in your home? I don't know. Well, guess what? Because you see these ferrite beads and things on it like that, this knocked down the noise, the spurious emissions and the RF and things like that, so that this game was approved as a Class B device. It's the first pinball machine is actually a Class B device. Does that really matter to you? Maybe not. It matters to us in that, we want to be honest to what we're doing. If we know these are going to the home, we should comply with the device that goes to the home. So,
cool.
So it's kind of a good thing. I'll show you a couple of things about. I wanted to talk about spring. I want to talk about 3/4. Before I forget, let's come over.
That's where we were streaming before over here. Oh yeah, people wanted to see the operating system too.
Okay. So that would be the obvious matrix switches. And let me just grab the glass off this thing. I don't love putting the glass on. So, because you have this amazing LCD, you have a lot of options in doing things that really could support the service system in here. Not just your matrix switches, but your dedicated switches, your single switches, and those things will come up. They'll be listed right on the playfield where they are. It'll tell you what color they are. It'll tell you what connector they're on. If you get into, let me get out of that. So if you get into your coils, if you go through this exercise and you did like so now if it's cycling through, it'll pull up all those coils. It'll show you on the map, the playfield map, where they are. It'll tell you what color wires they are, what connector they are, what driver transistor works them, how many volts it is, what fuse is involved with it. Tell you everything. If you want to go to the LEDs, you can do individuals. You can change their colors if they are different colored LEDs. Display test is just, a standard display test. Sound test, you can go through really everything.
I saw something move. Hit it. I saw something move. Hit it. I saw something move. Hit it.
Different devices that you can test on the game. So if you go to settings, you'll have all your system settings in here. Your pricing settings come up next. You have game settings. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. You can customize these games like no other game. Coil settings, which is something I really wanted in the beginning, and it was great that you can go through them. They're all PWM, which is pulse width modulation. So you can make your flipper stronger, weaker, bumper stronger, weaker. Maybe, it goes to a location and they have low line voltage. Back in the day, they used to high tap the transformer on the old electromechanical games and moved into the 100-volt tap, which was really meant for Japan and countries like that. So instead, somebody decided, let's put it on a 100-volt tap, and we have 117 volts coming into the game, and let's put a rocket into this game to try to get some action out of it. Well, your high score settings, now we have a daily high score, which is kind of cool. People ask us, how come somebody played my game? Because they have a whole bunch of high scores up there. And, some people will kind of look at that like, hey, I got a car with like 30,000 miles on it. How come there's a high score on it? So, there might be a point in the future where they're there, they're not there, they're optional. All your audits, your standard audits. The game really keeps track of everything, really. All your game audits that you can go through. And this game only has audits from today because we updated the code, and I didn't save anything. I didn't save any of the settings. You could save things and restore them.
Where do you upgrade that code, like put on USB stick?
So right in the front door, and if I have enough strength to lift this playfield, I don't want to knock anything out of the way. You lift this up, and there's an extension right here that goes to the motherboard, and that's where you're going to plug in your USB. Right into that.
Jack, when you lifted that up, I noticed you didn't take the balls out.
No.
That's because they don't go flying out, right?
They're not going to go flying out.
Right.
No.
Genius design.
So really, also with this, you have the utilities. You can set the clock. You can make a custom message, custom graphic.
Hey, look at that
There's a custom graphic in this one. Welcome, you guys. All the bros and the one broette. You guys are all here. There's no manual in this game yet, but there will be. Butch is working on that, so not only you'll have the onboard manual, just how Wizard of Oz has it. The USB update, when you put that in, you're going to push the button. Backup settings.
Welcome, Master Baggins.
Exercise everything. Hardware info. And really, what you have also, remember our games are running on a dongle. So the dongle, you know, there may be a day where we're downloading software to your game by choice. You might choose to do that.
Like over the internet?
Yeah. Over the internets. And what the good thing is, the dongle dictates what your game is. It knows if your game is a Smaug, it knows if your game is an Emerald City Limited Edition or 75th anniversary, it knows the game number, it knows a lot of things, it knows what country it went to, it knows all that. So if we have a download only for our 75th anniversary games, and you download it and there's a lot of updates to your Emerald City, well, you're going to get what's appropriate for your game, and he's going to get what's appropriate for his game, and we can do that all in one package download. Couple things we did with this game. We noticed that balls were getting stuck under over here, right? So guess what? What do you see there? You see something. Thank you, finger. You see something that looks like
It's like a
an
plastic
insert.
kind of thing.
Well, here it is. So these plastic inserts, they're on all our games now, and they're going to be part of a Hobbit update kit that we're giving everybody for free. So there'll be an instruction sheet. There'll be 4 of these and 8 screws. You have to pull out your beast mechs and put these in. So, you know, it took a little bit to design these. We made one style because, you know, the warg, he's got a big nose like me. So we had to put like a notch in it, so at least this works in all of them, right? There's another thing we did. If you look at this ramp on the left side, you see that this ramp is made differently than that ramp, okay? So originally the design of it...
Oh yeah, it's got that rail that goes down the side there.
I guess you would say a little less elegant or a little different, let's say, okay? So what happened, I'm sorry, Martha. So what happened was right in this spot, the ball would get stuck. And it would get stuck where you got to come over and give it a good shot on the side. Well, so for the people that have these, and we know who they are, we're going to give you a post, and we're going to give you a rubber ring. And all you do is remove the screw and put that in there, okay? And that's going to be free. If you really want to buy one of these ramps, we'll make them available for purchase, and there'll be a price for them. And all of this will be coming this week in an update that will release to everybody so everybody knows, but you're getting a little preview here. Also, one of the other things we noticed that was happening, you know, this is a spring. This is a spring right here. And it's really summer right now, but I'm showing you spring. So this is a spring for a drop target. This is what pretty much standard kind of spring is. Well, if you had a game and your drop targets weren't used in the amount of use that these get, this spring would be great. But guess what? We had to actually make this spring. So this spring is longer and it's a lot beefier. So what we're doing is we're going to send you 12 of these springs, and we ask that you change all of the springs on your drop targets at the same time. Okay, think of this as a few light bulbs in a light fixture. You know, one bulb goes out in a 3-bulb light fixture. Guess what? Change all 3 bulbs, because you're going to be climbing that ladder tomorrow or the next day. So you have to do a little PM. We're going to give you 1 extra spring. Not that it's going to kill me to give you 1 extra, but I figure if it flies off and hits you in the eye, at least with your other eye, you could go find your other spring. Just be careful when you change it. Not a big deal. So really, the update kit would include post and rubber, the 4 beast plastic inserts, and a dozen springs for your 11 targets. And that there'll be a ticket on the Jersey Jack Pinball support site to do that. And probably I would expect that we release the 1.30 code in this coming week. I mean, you guys got a chance to test it out, so the game didn't freak out or lock up or shut off or anything like that. We just want to cook it another few days. We'll release it. If anybody sends me an email, jack@jerseyjackpinball.com, I'll give you the link to download it. We keep track of our links. We know where they're getting downloaded to and that kind of stuff. So if you have any problem with that, let me know. And anybody that can't update their game, we do send out sticks on for sale basis if you're not able to download it for whatever reason. And if you return it to us, we'll reload the code for you, and we won't charge you again. So if you bought the stick one time and you paid the $29, and now you loaded the code, what do you do with the stick? Don't buy another one. Send me that one back, we'll reload it, we'll just send it back, okay? We don't want to keep charging you $29. The game itself, other than that, it's been pretty rock solid. There haven't been any issues with the game. On location, it's doing really great money, and I'm really pleased about that. Now that we're about halfway through all our pre-orders, I have a lot of operators that want games. When you're building 16, 17 games a day, it's not that difficult to pull a game here or there, or borrow a game from a distributor that I give them back later on, so that I could get an operator a game, you know, today or next week or something like that. So that's been working out pretty good. Let's go finish the little tour over here. Pizza was good, thank you.
Oh, look at that pizza.
So again, at
Won't go to
stations,
waste.
this station they'll be making speaker assembly, sub-assembly. They'll come in from a metal vendor, they put all the wood parts together, they put all the speaker parts together, and they finish the speaker part. So back here, kind of where we were before. These are all ready to go to Germany. I think next week there's another container going to Germany. This will be the third container going there, I believe. Germany is a wonderful place for pinball. Everybody loves pinball in Germany. In this area right now, what would be here is a row of games. Those games on Monday will work their way over here, and they'll get boxed. And this is backlash that just came in, or just came from the back to the front. They'll put the Invisiglass on the games. They'll clean everything, they'll prep everything, they'll pick what line cord goes in there, they'll make up a box that's set up for, you know, whether it's going to Europe, whether it's going to US, whether it's going, you know, wherever it's going in the world, and then they'll box the games here. And like I said, they'll do, you know, 15, 20 games a day. And this box, talking about the weight of the game weighs about 350 pounds. And you know, other pinball machines in the marketplace, like Medieval that they're building right now, and on that game you can lift with one hand. It's probably about 230 or something like that, you know. So that dimensionally would fit in our box, right? Because we had to think about, well, shipping a container of games. So in a 40-foot container, you want to fit 69 games. So the game is heavier. It took us a year to perfect that box. And that's crazy to say that, but it did. Because it's heavier, shipping it places, dropping it, letting it fall off a truck. What happened? You know, if a guy puts a forklift through the side, all bets are off. You know, they haven't invented steel cardboard yet. You know, they haven't. That's probably coming later on. But you know, so we really don't have. I don't want to tempt fate and say it, but we have good success with shipping them in these boxes, and it's a lot thicker box than what other people are using, because, you know, you're protecting a $9,000 piece of equipment. You know, with all these people that worked really hard on getting that game where it had to go, the last thing we really want is we want it to get somewhere damaged. You know, we want it to get there in one piece. And the cool thing about the way we laid this building out, you know, when I came here, I thought about how we laid the building out. I knew I didn't want to do a really long assembly line kind of thing. We wanted to do a serpentine line so that all the people here could actually see the finished product. And a lot of days, a lot of customers come here and they take a little tour with me or Jen, and they get to meet the people that are building the games, and the people that build the games really get to appreciate what they're building. Because a lot of times you might work in a factory and you're making this widget all day long for 20 years till you retire, and you have no clue where this thing goes or how it's used or what happens on the other end of it. They get to actually see those customers on the other end. They get to play pinball. You know, we don't have any law here where I say to them,
You must play pinball at 15 minutes a day, you know, or else.
you know, we don't have any. You want to play pinball 20 minutes a day? You don't want to play pinball today? It's fine. You know, it's like, but we want you to play pinball. We want you to have fun. We want you to love what you do, and you know, we want you to feel that what you're doing is not just a job. It's really a passion that you have. And a lot of people that have come to work for us, especially the newer people that were the unskilled or semi-skilled people that didn't know what a pinball machine is. We have people come in and say, they still build pinball machines? Really? Yeah, and you're going to build them. Well, we're going to show you how. They love it. They love it. They tell all their friends. They go down to Asbury Park to, Silver Ball Museum. They come to me and they say, Jack, you can't believe I read all about this pinball machine. It was really great. It was called Humpty Dumpty. It was the first game they put flippers on. Do you know about that? Yeah, I think I heard about that. I heard about that. But they're excited. They're passionate. That's what you want. That's all you could ask. Is you can get a job doing anything and make money. It's really easy to get a job and make money. It's not really easy to get a job. It's not really a job doing something you really love to do, and you're making money, and you're making people happy, because we're making a product that makes people smile. And we all know, God knows, every day there's something not so good going on in our world today, and we're just working in our little space, doing our best to try to put smiles on people's faces and make them forget about some of the not so good things and have fun. Have fun.
So Jack, if people want to come to the open house, give us some details on that.
So the open house happens here, and it's September 17th. It's from 10 a.m. until they throw you out, which is probably like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Jen will be here. Maybe my granddaughter will be here too by then. It might be nice. She's due, like around August 25th or something. But there'll be a lot of people here. There'll be some of our team from Illinois will be here, and a lot of customers will be here, and we'll have a great time. We usually get about 300 people, 350 through the building, and I get a whole bunch of pizzas. We haven't used Frank before. We use another guy, I think. But we get like 40 pies, and everybody has a good time. And, it's just fun. People bring games. There's like an outdoor flea market that doesn't cost anything. People bring like older System 11 games and EMs and stuff like that. And they play Hobbits, they play Wizard of Oz. We have a tournament going on, right? Something's going on with a tournament.
Who's running that tournament?
I don't know. Some bunch of bros. Broettes.
That's right.
So it's really good. I want to get a picture with all you guys because.
Yeah, we will. So
really
let's sign off the show officially. We'll say goodbye from Steve, Mike, Jack, Nick, Martha, me, Kevin. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
This is your all-access tour of the Jersey Jack facility, and go out there and play some more pinball.
Awesome.